You're not supposed to be here, are you?
Let them stay.
Well, since you're already here, you might as well stick around, subscribe, and listen.
Yes.
Here, let me tell you a story.
Let's begin.
Story number 1. The Abandoned Convenience Store. Ever wonder how some people you meet seem to have no fear whatsoever? You know, those people who go skydiving every weekend, climb thousands of feet up mountains just to snowboard down a side that's probably pretty safe as long as I avoid those trees. People who marathon watch the scariest movies you've ever seen, then don't even blink before falling asleep. Well, if you envy them, then there's a way to conquer your own fear. You'll just have to pay for the consequences. Get on any passenger bus that travels a long distance. Greyhound is usually a good pick. Anything that's on the road for longer than 24 hours. Get a window seat facing west. Then stare at the sun, waiting until sunset. Just before the sun touches the horizon, close your eyes hard. Do not turn away. Don't look at anything else. Cover your ears if you have to. After a while, you'll notice that the bus has stopped moving. That's the signal that you can open your eyes. When you do, you'll see a gas station, illuminated only by a few flickering fluorescent lights. There will be no sun, no moon, no stars in the sky. The convenience store will have its windows boarded up, but the sign will say, open. If you feel you can't go through with it, get back on the bus, return to your seat, and fall asleep. You'll wake up at sunrise the next day, well on your way to wherever the bus was going. If you enter the store, the door will slam shut behind you. You will spend an unknown amount of time there, living out your worst nightmares made real. If you survive the ordeal without going mad, you will awake back on the bus as it reaches its destination. Nothing will ever scare you again. Some say that after going through this ordeal, everything else simply pales in comparison. Others say that all that room contains is all the fear you'll ever feel in your entire life, and exposing yourself to it all at once keeps you from feeling any more. This, however, can only be done once. There are some exceptions to the ability as well. All I know is that if you try to repeat this feat, the sign on the door will say closed. Story number 2. Lightless City. Do you have someone you hate? Someone you would do anything to hurt, pay any price for vengeance? If so, you may want to consider visiting Lightless City. To get there, go to any decent-sized city and find a deserted alleyway at night. Go into it and close your eyes as tightly as you can. Whisper, "Lightless City," and concentrate on the darkness. You've probably noticed that there are faint colors and abstract shapes you can make out if you try to focus your eyes when they're closed. Watch those images go by. After a few minutes, the images should start to get clearer and brighter. When this happens, they'll start taking on detailed forms, images of violent murders, deformed animals, and similar things. No matter what you see, keep your eyes closed. You'll start to lose track of time, but eventually the images will stop, and you'll see pure darkness. Nothing but deep black, no colors or shapes. When you're certain that you see pure darkness, then open your eyes. You will now be in a very dark city. There won't be a single light or star in the sky. You should be able to see a faint, dark blue outline of the tall buildings surrounding you. Make your way out of the alley and walk as quietly as you can down the sidewalk, in any direction. If you hear any movement, run as quickly as you can away from the noise. There are animals in Lightless City. It's too dark to make out the details, but they're the size of large, wild felines, and will kill any human they catch. Keep moving until you reach an area with smaller buildings, the edge of the city. A child will approach you, his face dully glowing, letting you see that he is eyeless. He will ask,
"Will you share your light with me?"
Say yes. The child will reach for your face and rip out your right eye. It will be painful, but there shouldn't be any bleeding or open wound. The child will thank you and leave. Keep walking and a tall man will appear before you.
Whose light do you wish to have taken away?
Speak the name of the person you hate, and as soon as you say their name, they will go completely and irreversibly blind.
Is your hatred satisfied?
The man will ask. If it is, say yes, and you will awaken in the alley. If not, say no, and the man will disappear. Keep walking. You will come across another eyeless child.
"Will you share your light with me?"
Say yes, and your left eye will be torn out, leaving you blind. Keep walking and the tall man will appear again, although you of course will have to rely on his voice.
Whose life do you wish for the darkness to claim?
Say the name of the one you hate, and they will die. You will not be asked if your hatred is satisfied this time, and you will not be able to return to the alley. I told you to make sure you really hated someone before doing this. You will spend the rest of your life wandering around Lightless City, blind, with only your hatred to keep you warm. For some people, that's enough. Story number 3, The Decaying Mall. There is a dead mall somewhere in Virginia that is in an advanced state of decay. For one reason or another, the mall still stands. There have been several plans, some of them quite elaborate, to revitalize the area, many of them calling for the original building's demolition, but none of them have ever come to pass. It is quite a shame, a sorry thing to look at today. In its heyday in the 1970s and early 80s, the mall was jam-packed. The place to be on the weekends, especially Saturday nights. It was upscale, fashionable, and always a happy place to go. Years went by and bigger, better malls opened around the city. The mall slowly started losing popularity until today it is completely empty. If you go in it nowadays, you will be astounded by the vast emptiness. Every step you make and every word you speak will echo loudly. Where once scores of people did their shopping, met for lunch and got together, there is now only eerie silence. Over the years, the happy, upbeat feeling of the place has darkened more and more, until now, many people avoid it, but can never tell you exactly why. The story would end here, were it not for a very curious rumor. It is said on certain Saturday nights throughout the year, something very strange happens. If you go to one of the entrances of this mall, it will be unlocked. Push open the door and it will give way, and you may enter. Near a bench, right in the entrance, will be a shadowy figure, casting a shadow that obscures the darkness around it. This shadowy figure can be spoken to. Call out to it. I know your secret, and the secrets you keep. Where once there was shadow, there will appear a face. A radiantly pale, withered old man's face with black holes for eye sockets.
No!
He will respond in a voice that will be like the slithering of maggots.
For I know yours.
He will then ask a question. The question will be about your life, or rather a detail about your life, something that happened many years ago. The question he poses will be one you should know the answer to, but so obscure, it will be difficult to answer at first, if you can answer it at all. You will be forced to answer, you simply won't be able to respond with I don't know. If you get the answer right, the shadowy man will thrust a box into your hands before dissolving back into the darkness. Open the box and there will be a note on which will be written the name of the person you were meant to marry or fall in love with. Only rarely is it the person you think it will be. But if you get the answer wrong, your body will be found the morning of the following Sunday at the entrance to the mall you came in, mutilated and eviscerated so badly, no one will be able to identify the body.